Hello and welcome to Tech Time Today. This is another episode in our series on deconstructing lean canvas. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, channels. A channel is a way in which you acquire customers. And honestly, a lot of people build products, especially new entrepreneurs or people that are just software developers building new products for the first time, that they don't think explicitly about channels nearly enough. They don't think about the way in which they just assume we'll figure it out as it goes along. But it's very helpful to be explicit about it, to be thoughtful and identify what way are you going to acquire customers. Definitely once you know your customers. So during the Lean Canvas process, if we take a look at that, you definitely want to focus on identifying your problem first and your customer segments and have the idea of what your solution is, and you validated the idea of the solution. Those are the three core initial things. Once you have that, even as you're starting to build the product, it is a really good idea in parallel to start thinking about channels, thinking about the paths your customers are taking to see your product for the first time, to start using it. And I have to say that one of the most useful books I've run across in terms of understanding what channels are and how you should use them and how you should pick what you are going to use as your customer acquisition channels is this book, Traction by Gabriel Weinberg, who is the creator of DuckDuckGo, the search engine. So I do strongly encourage you to buy the book, but I want to just quickly take a look at the core contents, which they go over in this blog post by Growth Rocks. They go over the 19 main marketing channels that are in the Traction book. Now, there, in theory, could be other potential channels, customer acquisition channels in the world, but I've found that most of the time, the channels they use will fall into one of these 19. Ideally, focus on 3 max. Anything more than that, it's too much because it's a lot of work actually to really develop each of these. I won't go over all of them, but let me just kind of quickly talk about some of these. So viral marketing, for example, when you get someone else to sign up for this product, then you get extra credits or something. And so there's some sort of scheme in place built into the product that the more people that use it, the more they refer to other people, and it sort of exponentially grows. Very hard to do this. It works sometimes. You can explore it. It's good to understand virality, but it's hard to do. It's one of the harder ones. PR help sometimes. Actually paying public relations firms, it works, but more for much more established companies. So early on, your channels do change over time. That's actually one thing I forgot to mention, is that what you pick as your initial channel may not be the same, later as you kind of grow. PR is one of those things that most of the time is for later stage. Unconventional PR is like jump out of a cake that was sent to the president or somehow, or I don't know, like whatever, like some weird thing that gets a lot of coverage. Again, super hard. This is one of those channels which I don't even think about, because even if you can think of some like amazing idea, it's like a one-time shot. It's like super hard to do unconventional PR consistently, because you want your channels, in ideal case, to be consistent over time. You want to be able to know that I spend X amount of money on my channel and I get Y amount of customers, like a certain number of customers that convert at a certain rate, etc. Search engine marketing and later the search engine optimization, the difference being these are actual ads on search engines versus optimizing for organic search. Ads, and actually for the social ads, I'll kind of combine all the ads ones together. Definitely ads work for certain things. It's all about the margins. Like it's all about understanding what the costs are, how many users you get, how many do they convert. If you do not have your math correct, you will just lose money really quickly. There should be a predictable pattern of how much value it brings, and you got to make sure that's not negative. For search engine optimization, Google search has made a whole bunch of changes recently that make it extremely hard. This is still an option, but I will tell you, as somebody who has used SEO as a channel for a long time, this is very difficult to do right this at this moment. So I would be really hesitant to put all my eggs in the basket of SEO as a channel. Email marketing is one of those things that I think a lot of people poo-poo, but you should not underestimate email marketing. Email marketing works a lot of times for a lot of different things. Engineering is marketing. So this is an interesting one. Hard to do sustainably over time, but it's the idea that you build ancillary small products to market your main product. As an example, you might build some free online loan calculator or something, and you launch it on Product Hunt. And that is not the product, that's not the thing you're trying to sell, but it just like, it's something, people will use because it's like a for free tool that's like provides some value, and it was easy to build, but it points to the product that you're actually trying to sell, which is, I don't know, insurance or whatever it happens to be. So engineering is marketing. You're building small apps or small things to market your main thing. So for biz dev, it's a lot of times partnerships, trying to network more so than sales, which is actually literally just trying to sell something. Biz dev could have like indirect goals. They're both trying to talk to people at other companies that could potentially be customers or lead to sales. So biz dev is like an indirect way. Sales is more direct. Affiliate programs, this can work for certain things for sure. I've seen it work really well. Amazon has a huge affiliate program that has not done as well recently because they've cut the incentives for the affiliate program. So I guess maybe as a channel, that's something that it worked well for Amazon a long time ago, and now they're trying to get away from potentially, or it seems like it. But when they were offering some pretty good bonuses to people who refer customers to Amazon, you had all these websites starting that essentially were just marketing Amazon products and just had links to Amazon. It's kind of crazy to think. So an affiliate program can be really powerful and useful and work really well depending on what you're doing. Speaking engagements, the thing I'd say is that for things like developer tools, this works really well. So you have developer evangelists that go around speaking at events. That works really well, like for that particular tool. So it depends on the product. So, I mean, that's one thing to realize with all these channels is that they are specific to the product. They're specific to the customers. You have to find out what works best for your users. Community building, I've mentioned in previous videos how much I believe in community, how much I think that is a very good channel to develop if it makes sense for your product. Community, it provides so many benefits. It's one of those ones I like just really strongly believe in for products where it makes sense. And those are the 19 channels that are described in the traction book. Like I said, there are other ones, but it's just really useful to understand what the most common ones are and think about how they may or may not apply for you. I think there's variations, etc., but understanding this, reading this traction book, I think will give you good ideas. And I guess my main point in all this, those are examples, but the main point is your objective from a product development standpoint is to identify the 1 to 3 primary ways in which you actively get customers to use your product. There might be other random ways that you don't plan on or whatever that happen over time that you don't control, but these are the ones that you do control. And furthermore, so this is maybe the ultimate point that I'll end on here, is that you want to get to a point where you know the costs involved and the value you get out of that channel. And it's a formula. And in an ideal case, it's a formula where you put $1 in and you get $2 out. So that super hard to do. But when you can do that, it is super, super powerful. And then clearly you just try to invest as much money as you can. Once you know that the channel is working and it is profitable, then you build it, that you keep building. And I said that was the last thing, but like, I guess this will be the last thing. I mentioned that over time channels change, and they change because it's not always linear. Like, okay, you've built a channel up, you know that $1 in, $2 out, great. You start putting more and more money into it, but you're tracking it along because typically it goes like, I forgot the name of that pattern, where it starts to go up and then it levels off, because there is a limit to every channel. And so it'll start to level off. And that's where you need to tweak the channel, or sometimes you have to think about new channels and you kind of leave that one as is. Hopefully that helps. And I'd love to hear your thoughts about traction channels, some of the ones I've described, some of the ones that you've used. I'd love to hear your ideas and let you know what I think about your ideas in the comments below. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you again next time on Tech Time Today.